Hello, my name is Edwin Edebiri, and I am the Chief Happiness Officer with the I Am Happy Project and also the Happy Neighborhood Project. I get excited every Monday. I can't wait to get this course started because of all the feedback that I get from people who get to listen to this, in that those of you who are joining us live or those who get to listen to the recorded on our YouTube channel. So I thank you all for joining us. This is my way of helping people get the Monday, the beginning of the week, starting out on a foundation of happiness. The reason I started this call is I heard a lot of all kind of statistics that says it's just difficult for people to start on Monday. All kind of, blood pressure goes up and all kind of stuff. So we want to change that, and that's what this is about. And for today, folks, I think we have a very, very exciting topic, one that definitely, involves every single one of us. Now, to help me, discuss this topic is a guy that has committed his own life mission on helping people grow. Okay, Jonathan Washted is an international inspirational life guide, speaker, Amazon best-selling author, and personality expert. Okay, he specializes in the Enneagram and the Myers-Briggs personality type, among other things. Jonathan, welcome to the call.
Thank you, Edwin. I'm happy to be here.
All right, that makes two of us and everybody else that is on the call. Okay, so let's dive into it. The topic for today, we're going to be talking about personal growth and happiness. So what is personal growth? How would you define it?
Well, personal growth is change, expansion, continually improving ourselves. Ultimately, we're sort of inevitably growing in some way, but the question is whether we're more stagnating or more moving in that process. And obviously, if we're moving more, then we're growing faster. And by moving more, I don't mean trying to fix or change ourselves in a way where we're looking for what's wrong with us and trying to fix it, but in a way where we're looking for what's good and what's going well, what am I doing right, and continuing to expand on that to encourage that forward. And obviously this whole process starts with us looking for what's wrong. That personal growth sort of begins where we think there are things that we don't like, that aren't good, and we need to change them. And ultimately, when we learn to transition from that into actually looking for what's right, what's good, then we can encourage and expand, so that rather than sort of punishing ourselves, where we're constantly fighting against ourselves and keep ourselves stuck in the same place, where we're focusing on what we're experiencing and we're just staying there, that we actually start to imagine greater. We imagine maybe it could be better than this. Maybe there's another way of being. And that's what, we're doing that subtly, whether we're aware of it or not, all the time to some degree, and it's just a question of how much we're really asking ourselves, how could this be better, versus just saying, I'm not happy with this. And ultimately, personal growth is that process of recognizing how much control we have over our lives, starting, where we could feel like we're just sort of passengers in the car of life, to recognizing that we're actually the driver, and how much power we actually have to shape our experience. And it's this process of recognizing how we relate to ourselves and the people around us and the world around us, and what role we have in all of this. So that
is awesome. Wow. Now, one thing that I've always believed in is the power of question. and just listening to you pose a lot of questions that get people to scratch their head, where most people focus on what is wrong with me instead of focusing on what is right with me, and focusing on how I can get better. And so they say when you ask the right question, then you get the right answer. And that's very, very, very awesome.
Exactly.
So now, what is personal growth then? Why is it so important to happiness?
Well, when you presented this idea of discussing something and happiness, to me, then I came up with all these ideas. I came up with, things like mindfulness, presence, awareness, listening to yourself, purpose, choice, positivity, expansion, optimism, acceptance. And when I was thinking about this, I was really trying to decide, well, which one, could I discuss with happiness? And when I thought about it more, I thought of the topic personal growth, and I realized all of those fit into personal growth for me.
Wow.
For me, when you really think about it, you want to work to be more present, more mindful, and practice simply being, and learning to experience what's going on inside you and outside you, and be able to accept it as it is, and be able to create a purpose for yourself, set goals that lead you to strive to be greater. Imagine that something could be different, and then what would you like to be different, and then work toward that, and be positive along the way. Notice what's good about the situation, where are things going well, and keep focusing on how can I expand on those things, how can I make them even better, which obviously brings in like another topic I thought of, gratitude. If you're grateful and you're appreciative for the things that are happening that are going well, then you move forward and you feel like you're actually fulfilling the purpose that you set out for yourself, and then choice comes into that because you're choosing the purpose that you're striving toward, and obviously then you're increasing in your awareness and you're learning to listen to yourself, and so I felt that ultimately all of these things that I came up with really fit into the sort of meta category of personal growth. And when you think about what personal growth really is, and how you can go about really making it something that you're striving for, that you're making it a predominant influence in your life, that you're less stagnating and more growing, that you're less stagnating and more moving, that you keep changing things, that you keep challenging yourself. Not in a way where you're overwhelming yourself, but enough that you're not bored. And so this brought to my mind Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, the positive psychologist who studies flow, the flow experience of being totally in the moment in which you're engaged. Like when you're playing a piano piece and you're just the music flowing out of your fingertips, and when you're skiing down a mountain and you're just sort of flowing down the mountain, you become the skis. And that experience of being totally in the activity in which you're engaged, you realize is what happens when the level of skill matches the level of difficulty of the task. And so, if you're learning something new, let's say you're learning a new piano piece, then at first it takes up too much of your attention, and so you can't really fully get into it. It's too challenging and it's a little bit overwhelming. And then as you practice, then your level of skill matches the level of difficulty of the task, and you get to the point where you're just totally in it, and you're just the music flowing out of you. And then, as you keep practicing, then that piece becomes too easy, and your mind starts to wander because it's not fully engaging your attention. So when I thought about this, connecting this, I realized that's sort of what personal growth really is, and ultimately has such an important impact on our happiness, because we're happy when we're fully engaged in the moment. And in order to be fully engaged in every moment of our lives, we need to be continually challenging ourselves, not so much that we overwhelm ourselves, although we sort of, could a little bit, and then we learn to meet that challenge, learn new things, like learning a new language, overwhelming at first, then you start to get the hang of it, and then it's easy, and then you've got to find something else to learn. So that we're continually learning and challenging ourselves so that we're always taking it one step further, not completely in over our head, but not bored. And so if we're continually challenging ourselves just a little bit, then we keep growing, and we're fully engaged in the moment, and that's where the happiness is, when we're fully engaged in the moment, in every moment of our life.
In short, one of my favorite sayings is that you do not allow the past or the future to rob you of the present.
Right.
Because
exactly.
That's what really counts. That's where happiness is. Now, we've got a lot more stuff and a very short time to go, but I have to ask you this. What role has personal growth played in your happiness?
Well, ultimately, I've realized that in a lot of ways, my whole life has been about searching for happiness. And then, of course, I realized that I shouldn't be searching; I should be creating it. And ultimately, I realized that whole process that has been my journey of personal growth. That has been sort of, a purpose for me. Like, how can I make life into something where I'm happy, where I enjoy this experience? And so for me, personal growth, I realized as I reflected on this that I realized that ultimately the journey is where the happiness has been. It's been in the process of the growing. It's in the moments of discovery and insight when I learned from an experience and that learning became understanding, and that understanding became awareness, and in that awareness there is joy. Like meditation provided, mindfulness provided peace, but the real joy was in the learning new things, the moments of insight that then could be applied to the next moment in the form of greater awareness for me, and that's where the happiness is.
I have to say, though, you have thrown in a lot of just nuggets. I hope that folks didn't get so overwhelmed, but this is something that someone definitely need to play back over and over. Just take a piece of paper and a pen and just jot down some stuff. Okay, we've got about a minute or so to go, and I want to ask you, what would be the main message that you would like for people to take away from this conversation?
The main message I'd like people to take away from this conversation is always be imagining greater. Always be asking yourself, how could I experience even better? No matter how good things are, no matter how bad or how good, find what's good there and ask yourself, how could this be even better? How could my experience be even better? And if we're always imagining greater, then we're always going to be coming up with new ways without even trying to actually keep ourselves moving in the direction of greater, and then we'll always be challenged, and we'll always be taking ourselves one step further, and so we'll always be fully engaged in every moment, and so we'll always be happy.
That is awesome. Well, Jonathan Watek, thank you so very much. And folks, again, I'm telling you this, if you have not downloaded the Happy button yet, you need to do so, okay, because Jonathan is one of our feature coaches. You can see him, and this is the kind of guy that can take you from where you are to where you want to go as far as personal growth is concerned. And also, Jonathan is on our website. If you go to the IamHappyProject.org, under the feature coaches, you can find his information, be able to, go to his website and learn some more stuff about him. Folks, I want to say thank you all for being on this call. This is the end for this call. And join us next Monday as we do another episode of the Happy Monday. Thank you very much.